Calling 509-276-2974. Edward Jones, member SIPC, with locations in Deer Park and Chewelah.
This is KCHW 102.7.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Good afternoon, everybody. We have a special show for you today for this month's About the Arts program, which happens the first Wednesday of every month, the day before the first Thursday Art Walk, and before these lovely artists sitting in front of me go do their art talk over the Courtside Brewery. So we have sitting in the studio today, myself, I am Chuck Ritchie. We have beside me Tim Nielsen from the Trails End Art Gallery. Let's keep going this direction. And I apologize, I'm terrible with names. So go ahead and say your name.
Cindy Goldman.
Cindy Goldman. Good.
Theresa Henson.
Teresa Henson. And of course,
John Sebastian.
John Sebastian. There we go. So raise your hand if you've been on the show before. Okay. So we got a couple new folks on the show that have never been with us. Welcome, you guys. Thank you. Yeah. So this month's Art Walk, man, there's a ton of artists out there this month, and you guys are doing the Cerulean show this month, right? The Cerulean 2.
That's with a K.
Cerulean. I am so sorry. Cerulean 2. Cerulean 2. I knew that. Nice. I think we did a murder mystery dinner last year, and I think we were pronouncing it wrong last year. So
well, there is Cerulean.
Is there? Yeah. But which one is the color blue?
That would be cerulean.
Cerulean. Oh, okay. See, that's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah.
So, and I thought it was spelled differently. I'm sorry.
There is an interesting story behind that.
I want to know. Please tell me.
Well, as far as I know, and it's all based on Linda Hyatt Cancel, who is the person that has conceived this concept, this whole show. It's Latin for the color blue.
Okay.
And it also leads into a number of mysterious metaphors.
Ooh, I love mysterious metaphors.
Spooky.
I love it. What kind of metaphors?
Don't hold back.
Or would that be spoilers?
Well, I would assume that based on what Linda's told me so far and what I could, remember, right, is that cerulean could be a manipulative tactic, right?
Okay.
It's a tactic, or it could be a flowing body of water. Here's where the metaphors come in, right?
Okay.
So it could be a flowing body of water. It could be a manipulative tactic to manipulate. Or it just might be a color.
Yeah. As to maybe manipulate your medium that you're creating art with?
A, or B, manipulate the viewer.
There you go. Ooh.
You see,
I like
that's
that.
where it gets spooky.
And into making them think they see something they don't.
You see that?
I love that.
Chuck, you're quick. Very fast.
Other metaphors included heaven, sky, the sea, and it made me wonder which came first, the metaphor. I have a feeling that the color derives from the metaphor. That came first, but I don't know that for a fact. But
well, I would ask you, Chuck, what does the color blue mean to you?
The color blue, it can mean so many different things to me. It can, there's happiness. I think comes from a beautiful day with a bright blue sky and crystal clear blue water. Yeah. It can also obviously make you sad. And I think of a lot of times room colors, like the certain shade of blue can really bring down the mood in a room, but just a couple of tones off can really lighten the mood of an entire room, depending on the color blue you use. So it can mean a whole bunch of different things.
Sure.
Blue is a very versatile color.
It sure is.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite colors, literally. One of my favorites.
Throughout my life, I've gone up and down with the color blue.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Whether I love it or not, and I really do have throughout my life. I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with the color blue in general.
Interesting.
As a whole, yeah. Kind of weird. I've gone through phases where I'm like, no, nothing blue. I don't want it.
Well, you're not
But
wearing anything blue today.
I'm wearing
Joe.
blue jeans.
Oh, you are wearing.
I
okay.
am.
Well, there you go.
I almost wore a blue undershirt today, but it was dirty, so I wore a black one.
Okay.
What does the color mean to you guys? I want to ask the same question.
To me, it means many things, but I know what comes to my mind at the forefront is it's known as a spiritual color, and I am one of the sculptors in the show, and my interest as a sculptor and is just somebody who loves to touch things and fascinated by the earthiness of materials. And when I heard Linda's idea for this show, I sort of took it as a little bit of a conceptual challenge to incorporate blue into my work, which tends to be a lot of, just the raw color of materials like wood or clay or fibers and things like that. But it was really, I used it in my pieces as sort of an ideal of like controlling a shape. Like my piece sort of contrasts geometric circles, spheres with letting the clay really kind of show its rawness and its raw textures. And I think the blue, in a way, lightens it and then brings this element that invites maybe a little bit more of the spiritual aspects of the materials themselves, I hope. And I think, and at the same time, because I used this really light blue glaze, I felt there was a sense of play with it too, for me to bring a color like that to my own work, which is a lot about raw materials and rhythms and the materials themselves. But there was this playfulness I felt, and I'm curious, Cindy, like how did you receive that invitation for blue for your work in the marquetry? Marquetry, yeah.
Well, I think that most recently, since I've been developing this process called transparence, which I learned in France about a year ago, I've been doing a lot of images that have skies or water in them. So for me, that was a perfect reflection for the color blue, because I also have a love-hate relationship with the color blue. I can't wear blue because my skin color is just, it makes me look sick. So I actually have a twin sister, and her color was, my mom dressed her all in blue and me in red. So, so I've always had this kind of weird identification or non-identification with the color blue until the last year. All of a sudden, I'm using a lot of dyed blue veneers, which I'm loving so much. I mean, everything from like midnight blues to very pale sky blues and even turquoises and blue greens and things like that. So it all fit pretty perfectly.
I'm sorry. Can I get you to get a little close? I'm telling when I say these mics, you gotta get close to these things. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
But I love that you agree with me on the love-hate relationship, and I do think blue is a very emotional color. I think it's the most emotional color. Of course, it is one of the ones most commonly associated directly with emotion. In fact, sadness is. Yeah. They don't call it feeling blue for nothing.
Right.
Feeling red or feeling blue.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't say, "Oh, I'm feeling purple today," although that really would make a lot of sense. That's like sad mad, right? Purple, because again, depending on the shade of purple, which is my favorite color. But
Well, I could see that on the painting outside.
yeah, you like that,
Yeah, I mean the gall. No, I'm just kidding.
right? Exactly. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, okay.
We're going for if a few pearls get clutched along the way.
Okay.
We are perfectly happy with that.
Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what we're going to put on top of the purple.
Oh, baby.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun actually.
Nice.
It's gonna be super fun and silly, but yeah. So yeah, tell us. So John, we've known a lot of your work. So you're primarily a painter. What are you going to be entering into this art show this month?
Well, I've been doing two things my whole life: painting and writing, and I've been doing that my whole life.
Yeah.
It's just instinctive. So while I'm painting, I'm telling a story. I mean, I think that's what it's all about, right? We're telling stories, right? You're telling a story. through, in this particular case, a radio station.
Yeah.
Right, and you're broadcasting a message. By the way, what is that message?
You know, our message right now is to, I guess, help support the arts and help support artists, and really kind of tell people that this is indeed an area for creatives and for people to express themselves.
I'm going to give you applause for that one, man. Let's
Oh,
get
thank
some
you.
applause for that.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no, and you do a great job, Chuck.
Thanks, man.
You know, for real. So, what I'm bringing to the show is a representation of how I felt over the past 6 months. Everybody feels some kind of pain at some point in their life. Pain, right?
Right.
And pain can lead itself into metaphors. Right, I have a bad back, which I have had over the course of my life, but not all the time.
Right.
So I want to represent that, and she comes up with the show. Linda Hyatt Cancel says, "Hey, listen, John, I want you to paint about your feelings about blue."
Yeah.
So the name of my paintings actually are Black and Blue. Dealing with some pain. But, once again, metaphors have always been important to me and fun to work with. So that's what I'm painting, and that's what I'm sending out as a message, as a story. That even in darker times, there's always something light, and that's what I see in blue. Blue is the light, right?
I can see that. I can see that. Because even when it's dark, it's going to lighten up someday.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
I like that. So even the dark blues, even the dark times lead to the possibilities.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So Theresa, what tell us what you're going to be bringing to the show.
I have 4 ceramic pieces in the show, and that's called Blue Joy, because I think as I was working with those spheres, like I said, and then the just raw sort of pulled apart clay forms that are kind of holding them up. I sort of had this feeling of like bubbles and an effervescence, like joyfulness, and it's great to have friends who are painters, because they do a show and they invite us sculptors in and say you could take the space and we'll have the walls. So very grateful to be here. And I was also really grateful and excited to see Tim's jewelry, which highlights turquoise, and which is this radiant, incredible blue that comes from the earth. And when I saw that this morning, I know that I thought that really provided a profound dimension to the show, that is a reflection on blue.
Yeah, I was going to talk to Tim about that, because usually, Tim, you don't feature your art in the shows, and everybody's really excited to actually have you feature some of your work this time.
Well, I was invited by Linda.
That's fantastic.
To ask, would you want to do something for the show? And we also have Dave Anderson and Red Burnell.
Yeah.
And so got a couple locals here, and then plus Dave just got in from Portland today. But, my take when Linda described the show to me and just told me about you all, I immediately went to, I think turquoise is my favorite color. I'm definitely a blue, I wear all kinds of color, but I have an affinity for that color. I really, even though most of my jewelry is fine jewelry, I do love working with like a cashmere blue sapphire or blue zircon, which is a faceted, clear kind of turquoise colored stone.
Yeah.
But I'm really kind of mesmerized by it. And the challenge for me was really as a sculptor, and I was so happy when Theresa was to see that you were in here, because it really does fill the space out to have all those display units and have stuff, ceramics and sculpture and small paintings, and in this case, jewelry, to really utilize that whole front space. And the show is dynamic. It's incredible. I cannot wait, first off, for people to hear the art talk tonight, because there's a lot to unpack with the art and the whole concept of the show, which will be fun. But anyway, getting back to it, it was really fun to. I just decided I want to know if I can carve turquoise. So I did a couple carved pieces, and I was really happy with how they turned out. And of course, I mean, in art school, I really was into doing bronze work and relief sculpture, and then jewelry too came after that. But it's nice to package it, I guess, for lack of a better word, to really take that and then see it presented. I think I've got 8 pieces in the show,
Right.
but all aggregated in this little glass cube. It's kind of fun. It's impactful, but it's really nice, sitting next to Red's ceramic pieces with these off the charts glazes and things, and then your eye just wanders throughout this whole show, to the walls, to the center, to the walls, everything. It's a beautiful show, and thank you, Linda, for inviting me. And really, Linda spearheaded this show. And I think you came to me maybe the beginning of last summer. It's clearly she had thought about it prior to that, but we had a full year to put this together, or for her to basically put it together, for me to fill the space in the gallery. And so it's exciting.
That's fantastic. So, Sadie, what are you going to be bringing to the show?
I have 7 or 8 pieces, I think. Right? Is it more? Well, Tim knows, because
Tim's counting.
Tim hung everything. so Tim knows.
He's running out of fingers.
Well, some of the pieces are representational images and some are abstract. And for me, the abstract pieces, this is the first time ever in my life that I'm really even attempting to do abstract pieces, because I'm usually kind of really buttoned down in my approach to, I was a graphic designer for 40 years in advertising, and then was designing and building furniture, and all of those things have to be really tight tolerance, and when you're doing joinery or whatever it is that in my previous career. But when I started doing marquetry, that also was very tightly put together, and edges have to meet a certain way, and in order for it to work. So for me to attempt to do these abstract pieces is really taking me out of my comfort zone and forcing me to work a lot more loosely. So where if I'm doing a landscape, for instance, I plan it out far in advance to know what the veneers are that I'm going to be using and how everything's laid out, and I do drawings, and as I'm working, I know exactly what's going down next. But when I do something that's an abstract, I'll just put down a layer of veneer in the background, and then just kind of open up all my drawers, or I have hanging racks of veneer, whatever, and I'll just see whatever just strikes me, and then I'll start cutting shapes and putting them down, and it just kind of happens. So I don't plan those, and it's been a lot of fun for the first time ever to work so much more loosely, and I'm really enjoying that. And I like the other pieces as well, don't get me wrong on that, but I love that at this point in my life I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone and doing something a lot freer.
Now explain to the listeners, what is marquetry?
Wood marquetry is the art that started in ancient Egypt and then got into Europe, France, and Italy specifically in the 16th, 17th centuries, and then they were doing that in furniture. So it was inlaying wood, and that was called intarsia, actually. When it's done with a thinner veneer, they call it marquetry, so I'm basically making paintings with wood.
Nice. Yeah, and I'm looking at the image on the poster of your work, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So is it actually paint on wood?
No paint.
No paint.
It's either natural or dyed wood veneer.
Oh, okay. And it almost looks like I'm seeing almost like sort of a organic sort of mossy almost shades. What is the technique behind that?
Well, that's the natural veneer. It's a dyed green burl, and I think that's a maple burl in that one. So I have, if you saw the veneers that I have, they're just so stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'll tell you a little secret that my good friend who taught me marquetry always laughs at this. That
Don't tell anybody.
when I
People out there listening.
well, yeah, that's okay. He laughs at me because I've been working, and the woods are unfinished, obviously, when I'm putting things together. But I'm used to looking at them in that unfinished state, and then when I spray the finish on, the textures and the color and the richness of those woods just kind of explode into life, and every time I burst out into tears.
Oh, wow.
It's like I can't hold all that beauty in my body, and it makes me cry, because why did the Creator put the beautiful part of the tree on the inside?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
So we can explore it later.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have something to discover.
Yeah. So that's my confession.
So your work really it screams to me something that, I mean, it's beautiful on the poster, but it really screams to me like something that you really have to see in person.
They do look very
fully,
different
to fully understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Theresa too, your work, I through the poster, I want to reach through the poster and I want to touch it.
Good for you.
And it looks very, textual. Textual, is that right? Textural. I can't even say the words right now. But so you talk a little bit about spheres. So are these different pieces that you then inserted into the clay? What's your process here?
Well, first of all, I love that you feel the invitation to touch the work. That's probably one of my most common questions with my work, is people ask if they can touch it.
Yeah.
And then I also do some wood carving, and generally people always ask how long that took. I don't know if you get that a lot too, with the
All the time.
time intensive
Yeah.
stuff. I think I love sculpture because I love touching things. It's all about, I was that kid in the grocery store putting my hands in those bulk bins of beans.
Oh yeah.
And then it was all fun until I put one up my nose, and my dad had to rescue me. But
there.
My love of sculpture just comes from being able to touch things and explore materials and the rhythm in materials, and to I hear this for you, with the marquetry, like letting the materials direct the creative process and how that goes. And so for a few years now, I've been exploring clay and ceramic sculpture. I had somebody look at my woodwork and ask it if I'd ever explored ceramics, and I hadn't actually at that point. And I just felt like that was one of the best suggestions I've had in my creative life, is that I should explore clay, which I'm having a ball with, really. But so again, it was. I think in many ways, even a few years into it, I'm just still exploring the way the clay pulls apart, the way it holds up, what the grog does in various levels in the clay body, and just how to, it's just all discovery still at this point. But then, of course, you can glaze it and put color on it, which, Linda inspired, with the blue. But yeah, those pieces are me just kind of building up these kind of rough slabs of clay, and then just sculpting the spheres and scratch and attach. That's what you do when to get a good bond, and then bisque firing them, and then coming back and adding the blue, and then putting them to the glaze fire. And so, it was the spheres, and then the rough parts were all sort of built together.
Okay. Like I said, I want to touch it. I want to flip it over. I want to look at it from all the angles. I want to look underneath and see what's in the nooks and crannies. And it kind of has almost like an organic vibe too. Like maybe this is something that could be found in the ocean.
Yes. Yeah. A word that comes to mind is benthic. When we're talking about cool words like
I've been thick, but then I lost some weight. No, sorry.
which is
sorry.
that's funny. But benthic means of or relating to the ocean, and I've used that word in the past. So, and this is a thing too. In my own discovery of forms, like in trying to be as faithful as I can to the materials in my own process of discovering the materials, I feel like it often has come up looking like ocean life or things in microbiology. There's actually resonance of forms between like microbiology and physiology and ocean life, and it's a beautiful contemplation to think about how nature replicates forms for the proliferation of life.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you're able to actually come up with the proper term for that. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'll remember that forever now. Was that B or V? Like B as in boy or V as in
benthic?
Like B as in boy.
Benthic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, benthic. So John, I've known you for a while.
Yes.
I consider us good friends.
Yes.
I
absolutely.
love you really truly are one of my favorite artists.
Thank you.
But I do want to know the question I think that's on a lot of people's minds when they look at your painting, and I think take this as a good thing because I want to join you there. What's going on up there, man?
Well, escapism.
I want to be on the journey with you.
Well, come on, man.
Let's go.
Everybody's welcome. It's not just me. Well, not just me traveling. You guys are all part of it. Everybody is. And I welcome all of you to come because it is a good place.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good place to be. It represents a moment, right? A special moment. Painting for me is a special place.
Yeah.
So whether it's representing an image or representing an idea, it's a place that I feel happy to be in. And I hope that others, find, and I often find that many people have a lot of different takes on what I'm doing. One of my friends on Facebook, she's like, "Oh, you're in love now, and you're painting with lots of color. I'm so happy to see that." I said, "Well, there's beauty in the darkness too, Sandy." Her name is Sandy. I said, "There's beauty in the darkness too." And she's like, "Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah." She's a photographer, so she's out in Alaska now taking pictures of grizzly bears and stuff. So
nice.
But I think for me, it's representing how I feel at that moment, and that's gratifying. It makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
And I think that we all need to feel that, especially at moments where you're not feeling so good.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I do love a lot of your work. It does take you through a journey.
Right.
I've seen some of your work wherever, depending on where you look on the page, kind of changes how you feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing you're very, very prolific at. One thing you're very effective at is you can have a single piece of artwork that evokes a whole bunch of different feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really nice of you to say.
And oftentimes in a very fun way. I mean, to really, like I said, there was a show last year, I think during Winterfest, when you had it was sort of the map. I forget exactly.
Maps.
Maps. Yeah. There were people standing there the entire show just looking at everything in that map. Mm-hmm. And of course, as Red said to me, "Chuck, that's not a foxtail." So you get some good fun sort of Easter eggs in some of your work too, which is fun to find.
Yeah, a lot of people they have their own translations,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Yeah.
Because it's not what I was intending, but hey, it's all good, right?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
as soon as I hear that, I feel like I've accomplished something.
Absolutely.
I've done something good because my main goal, I think, if I have any goal at all, is to inspire someone to translate what it is that I was doing in private.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Of course, one of my other favorite artists is sitting behind me, and I am having a really hard time not asking her questions.
I know.
Yes, why don't
But-
you, Linda, come?
but-
Can
but
we
she's-
ask her a quick question? Because
Yes.
Linda, please come here for 1 second. Just
You
for-
don't have to if you don't want to, but
quick
I would
second.
happily have you up here, Linda.
She's
With
saving
her-
her powder for tonight.
Yeah,
Our
she's-
talented
but it's
curator.
important to talk to her because this concept Ceruleum is hers,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So yeah,
We can.
I'm just trying to see if maybe mid-show I have an extra cable here, but I don't think I have the other end ready to go over here. That's okay.
Hi,
Hi,
Chuck.
Linda. How are you? Oh, get that microphone like right up there. There
It's
you go.
so good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Linda. I'm so glad you're here. Injured arm and all.
I can still talk.
Right. I was going to say, and about you guys being my you guys are partners in crime, of course.
Yes.
You and John.
yep.
As I like to say.
Yep.
I guess you probably hear that a lot. So welcome, and you have work in the show as well.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your medium. I know you do primarily a paint, and is it oil paints that you use?
Yes.
Yeah.
All oils. Yes. And my study for ceruleum was twilight.
Yeah.
How it reveals, how it conceals, the mystery of it. I also have a difficult relationship with blue,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it as it is included in green and lavender, which are my favorite colors.
Right.
So,
What-
so I guess it's kind of a search for blue to
Yeah.
understand it.
And was that your inspiration for this show? Just for the exploration of blue, or for
Well-
all the meanings of the word?
It kind of came out of the sky, the way
Yeah.
a songwriters say a song comes to them. I wondered if we were going to have a sixth show together, and the word blue immediately came to me. And I thought, well, that's not my favorite color, but it's coming to me. And I did the study of, the Latin term and also the history of the color, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Matt. So what is some of the history of blue? Because I know a lot of the colors have, that's why royals were associated with purple back in the day, because it was such a rare color. And it was only the wealthiest people could afford anything dyed purple. So where does the origins of blue, especially in art, come from?
Well, lapis, woad, gemstones. It's the color of the Mother Mary that they associate with her. And then it goes into DNA sequencing, holograms, lasers, hex codes for printing. The history is just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of a journey of blue.
Outstanding. Oh, man, I love that. So I'm sorry. It's, sometimes I get so involved in what people are saying, I forget to think about what to ask next. So, and what other kind of pieces? I want to talk to Theresa more a little bit about some of the pieces that you have. Do you have other? Is this sort of like a theme that you're doing this week, or this month rather, or is it? Are we going to expect all different kinds of stuff?
With my other work,
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. I think yeah. I'm going to continue with this, and also with that contrast of say organic and geometric forms together, which is kind of what makes say the art of gardening work or architecture in a site. But I also wanted to add, when Linda came up with this idea on a show that reflected on blue, it took me to one of my favorite artists, Yves Klein. He was a kind of mid-century, 20th century artist. And he was, performance artist, very avant-garde French guy. But he looked at the blue of Renaissance and medieval paintings of Mary's robes and decided to make a whole body of art just focusing on that blue, and kind of inviting us to reflect on, because it is, for her, it's a symbol of spirituality, and so he sort of took that color out of the context of the person or the ideology or the religious tradition, and asked us to just sort of reflect upon it. And in a way, I feel like that opportunity is what Linda gave us here, both for us as artists and then, of course, for those experiencing the art. And I just thought that was just so exciting.
Wow. Do you have a podcast, Theresa?
No,
'Cause
but,
I would listen to it.
but
Me too.
if you give me a chance to talk about art, I'm gonna probably talk your head off, which is
Right?
pretty good for an introvert, I think.
Outstanding. I love it. Sometimes introverts make the best radio personalities.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot
Are
of.
you an introvert, Chuck?
I am not. I don't think I am. I'm one of those people. My wife and I are. She's a very much an introvert. We go out in public. She comes home and has to collapse. I come home and I have to wind down because my energy levels go through the roof when I get home after an event.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Interesting
Cool.
thing.
Very cool.
That is interesting.
Right. So Cindy, so some of your other work, do you use blue a lot in? Was this a show that really sort of spoke out to you? Using blues in your artwork, or is it?
Yes, I've
Make
used
sure you
more
get right
blue.
closer. Yeah.
I use more blue for pieces in the show than I typically use.
Yeah.
Because I'm not typically drawn to that color.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more in kind of earth tone greens and golds and browns and that kind of thing. And the blues, though, were just, I don't know. You were talking earlier about the blue being a happy color and bringing joy and happiness, and the sky and the water has always been just such an incredible part of my life, especially water.
Yeah.
And I just always grew up around the water, and living in Austin now is the farthest I've ever been from the water.
Yeah.
Much to my chagrin, but the sky certainly. I mean, I'm just always fascinated with the very subtle differences that in the skies from dawn until dusk and all the way through the day, and how the light changes and how it affects my mood and how it affects people around me, and even my dog and animals that I've had are react to changes in the light and in the sky, I think. So it's been a really interesting journey for me this year.
Yeah.
Using colors that I don't usually use, and just being really excited by them because, like I said, anywhere from turquoise to lavenders and purples and midnight blues and pale, 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 barely there blues, and
Yeah.
it's all, the range is pretty spectacular. And
Absolutely. And so, have you enjoyed it? Do you think you'll be working more with blues in the future?
Yeah, I have enjoyed it quite a lot. Now I seem to be really drawn to those colors more than I ever have. And when I'm looking for reference for the pieces that I do, I am really more drawn to things that have water and sky and beautiful blues in them. And so I think this love affair is just starting to really blossom.
I love that.
And I'm in love with it.
I love that. I will have to say I have a retraction to make about purple being my favorite color. Tim brought up turquoise, and I've heard a lot of talk about turquoise. I think turquoise is right up there, though. It's a tie.
Yeah.
How do you pick a favorite color, though? It's kind of like, what's your favorite breath of air? What's your
Right.
favorite song?
Yeah.
How do you choose?
Yeah.
Wow.
Favorite cat.
Well, I think my
Favorite cat?
favorite color is
Right?
new leaf green, I call
I
it.
love the
You
New
know, the
leaf
color
green.
of green when
yeah.
things are coming back after the winter.
Yes.
And that incredibly vibrant, just
When-
beautiful lime green colors.
When you drive down the highway and it's almost electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
and,
about.
And I just love that color. That's life to me.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
seeing that
When you're
color.
driving across the highway with fields on either side of you, and they're just starting to come up out of the ground, and it's that
Yeah.
most. I love that.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So I have a quiz for you, and partially because I'm trying to remember the term and I can't remember what it's called. It is a type of blue, especially in the South. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why they do it, but it's a term for the technique of like painting your porch, your upper porch, this light color blue.
Paint blue.
Paint blue.
Paint blue.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know anything about that?
They paint the porch ceilings blue to keep out the spirits, the bad spirits.
Okay. I often associate them on southern porches with the outdoor ceiling fans that are drooped from the heat and the humidity.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I suppose the color, like you said, does cool down the space visually.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of especially for like a shorter roof, it sort of makes you gives you that feeling of the blue sky above you. We originally, when we did our porch, we painted it that blue color. It didn't last very long because it didn't go with the house. But yeah, that's a long story. That's my story. So along with this, do you have, we talked about all the different meanings of the word other than blue. Are there, John, I know you talked a little bit about some of the deception, some of the fun things you can do with it. Is there any of that any of you have incorporated in your work?
Oh, I just was exploring Twilight
Yeah.
in this show, and the sky is so beautiful at twilight. Driving home last night, it was like, oh
yeah,
gorgeous.
absolutely.
It's a beautiful day today, and if you had a chance to take a look above at the skies, it's wow.
Oh yeah,
Just incredible, and then you have these wonderful cumulus clouds that are, accentuate the background color, and it's a background color. Right?
Yeah,
it's a background color,
exactly.
so it allows other colors to present themselves, even more prolifically, right?
It
More,
recedes.
right?
Yeah.
Right there, blue recedes.
Yeah, right.
You-
And I saw how which is another interesting idea, is how Tim, excuse me, has got an eye for many things, right? As a sculptor, as a jeweler, but also as when he decided to create the poster.
Yeah.
We were at home, Linda and I, and Linda said, "You know what, John? We should take one of your black paintings and make it the background for the poster." I said, "You know what, Linda? Why not let Tim make the poster? You make the paintings, let Tim make the poster, right?" And of course, one of the things that I also mentioned was that, I would think that Tim might choose, because there was another blue sky, it was the daytime.
Yeah.
Tim might choose that, and boom. Take a look at, but the another interesting idea is the color blue he chose. What was the idea behind that particular shade of blue, Tim? Linda.
Tim
Yeah.
Tim stepping up to the mic.
Chairs.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Linda.
in researching Cerulean, and then also kind of looking at its variant, or that came after it, cerulean, which was the blue. And I found it a couple times where it said it's a blue tone with a little green in it, and it just made me think of turquoise but so the color I picked, I put it on the scale digitally, and I moved it in and around a little bit of green, and black, and it's really fun. You can sit there on the background and just, there's infinite varieties of color that you can move with. But when I got to that was my favorite.
Huh.
And I wanted it slightly shaded too. I want the color saturation, but I didn't want it to dominate the art that's in front of it. So to me, it recedes, and even the font, I gave a little bit of cast of that color to knock down the white. I didn't want white. I wanted a tinted version of, or I guess a shaded version of white, but with a hint of that color to relate. But
Yeah. I think it really represents well. It
really does.
translates well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
but
then
I was pretty literal on it, I mean, this is my take on that, you
Right
know.
on.
But I liked the fact, reading about it,
Yeah.
and that's why it made me wonder. Okay, did the metaphor precede the color? Or I mean, as a Cerulean, as you read what it represents, and there's a lot of natural wonder stuff,
Sure.
sky, sea, but at the same time, moving water. So that's kind of I thought, ooh, so that kind of gave me an idea for a piece that I did in the show, or heaven and sky. So heaven, I kind of, based on a piece I had done earlier a while back, I kind of did this mother and child thing as an extension of that. When we see mother and child, we kind of have this, it's like heavenly thing. You know, there's some archetypal and deeper stuff going on there. So I kind of went that way with it. But that, to me, is what's really fun about this show, is all the individual takes on it, and everyone's individual narrative and journey just makes this show a powerhouse show. And I am grateful, Cindy, for coming up from Austin for this. And also, I would say that Linda, she'll probably talk about this tonight, I'm hoping, but the Dahlman Barn, you know, and I think that's where I first saw your work, a show that we went to there, must have been 3 years ago. And what a great space. And it's kind of like that place, I feel kind of like when you come into Chihuahua and step into this gallery. It's like, really? Here? You know? And so you go to the Dahlman Barn and you come to Union City, and it's way smaller than Chihuahua, and yet there's this incredible space for showing art. And it's cavernous, and at the same time it's intimate. It's a really interesting space. And so to see, and it needs sculpture to fill it out. You know, and it's a great venue for sculpture because of the height of the ceiling. And I'm hoping that Julie from the Dahlman Barn makes it tonight, because I look at our gallery too and I wonder, wow, some of these people here should be showing there. You know, more than
Sure.
you.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's a great space.
Yeah, it's just a quick blip on the artist. It's Artisans at the Dahlman Barn.
Yeah.
And it was conceived by a woman named Jeanette Dahlman, who before it became a gallery or a venue, it was a milk
Dairy barn.
A dairy barn.
Yeah.
You know, where they produce milk. They have the cows, and which you can still see there, which is also very cool. They'll have a cow here, or they'll have a cow sculpture, and finally, Julie Heitzman Hartwig. I love that name. I love her name. It's wonderful, and she's a wonderful person. But she's got a heavy duty job. It's actually huge. It's a 3-story barn, which was completely re-renovated and turned into like this. You know, my painting's like a spaceship. It's like a spaceship, man. It's like, it's out of this world. It's out of this world. And one last thing.
Where's it located?
It's in Lewiston, right?
It's in
Uniontown.
Union City.
Uniontown.
Uniontown.
Okay,
Uniontown,
which is
Washington.
between Lewiston and Pullman.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, next time over there, I'm gonna have to check it out.
You got to check it out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you go through the Palouse, which is 160 miles of wheat fields and mountains.
Of gorgeousness.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just one highway, a 2-way highway. Cars coming this way, cars coming that. It's just one strip all the way through.
John, Linda, road trip? Let's go.
I'm ready. You just let us know, Chuck, and we're on. We're going. Yep.
Right on.
And in the spring, the explosion of green, which is, we went down there in May,
right,
and it was just incredible.
Right.
That drive down was
Out of
phenomenal.
This world.
Yeah, it really was.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up here, you guys are doing the art talk tonight at the Courtside Brewery. Is it just going to be the 4 of you here, or is there going to be more artists joining?
Well, so Linda's really going to give a good background about the show and introduce. John will be talking a little bit about his art. Dave Anderson, myself, and Red Burnell won't be talking about our art, but we'll all be there.
Right.
And then Cindy and Theresa, Cindy and Theresa will be giving a talk about their work. So it'll be really nice. You know,
Very
I think
cool.
the doors open, I think at 6 or a little after 6, and I'll be there setting up, and the artists roll in around 6:30. And we usually get the talk underway about 10 to 7, and it'll go about an hour, and then we let everybody kind of socialize and finish their beverages
Yeah.
and whatnot, and conversations, and then we do a soft open at the gallery a little after 8, you know, because some people, and I understand, maybe they can't make tomorrow's First Thursday Art Walk, you know, the formal open for the show. But so it's nice to make the show available.
Yeah.
And especially after you've heard the artist's narrative, it's really fun to go over and go, oh,
It
you know.
really does change how you see the work, knowing
Yes.
the story behind it. It really, it's like two different art pieces if you see it before and after you hear the story. It really, truly is.
I noticed here in the studio that I'm looking at a bumper sticker that says "Support Live Blues," which is, of course, referencing the musical form. I was like, that could be a good tagline for our show. Support live blues.
That's
oh
cool.
yeah,
There you
Doug-
go.
That's very cool.
Yeah, you can join in tonight on KCHW for the Dirt Road Cerulean with Doug with Dirt Road Doug.
Yeah.
I love it. So then the tomorrow during the art walk, we've got so at the Trails and Gallery, of course, Tim, we have your work. We have work from Linda Hyatt Cancel. We have work from Theresa, Cindy, John, and there's another one here, Beth. I hope I'm pronouncing this name right.
Rimmelspacher.
Rimmelspacher, thank you. Thank you for doing that, because
Yeah.
it's
Red
really hard to
Burnell,
see it on
Dave
the poster.
Anderson,
Yeah.
Tim Nielsen,
Yeah.
and Cindy
Right.
Goldman.
Red Burnell.
Yeah.
Red, of course.
And
Everybody knows
then
Red.
Marilyn Wilson will be at the brewery.
Nice. Okay.
And Columbia Creamery, along with Chris Davis and one other artist, and it's eluding me right now, will be at the Spotlight Gallery, which is the pop-up gallery that's at the Huff Center.
Huff Center.
And then Trish Taylor will be at the Yale Press.
Nice. In the other room, I have a new neon Spotlight Gallery sign that needs to be hung up.
Ooh.
Yeah. So fancy.
I love neon.
Right?
Yeah,
Well,
I think
it's-
I'd like to work in neon at some point.
It's not
I
true
think I'd
neon.
like you to work in neon.
This is
Yeah.
Go do it.
neon-esque LED lights, but still, close enough. It gets
So-
the idea across.
Don't want to burst your bubble or your surprise, but
Uh-oh.
KCHW may be in the next First Thursday Art Walk for
Yes.
August.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's kind of an unveiling
Wow.
of their great redone entryway and new light.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Right.
It'll be pretty cool.
I didn't want to hog the spotlight, but yes, I believe it's August 6th. I think that's the date. It is the August First Thursday Art Walk. We'll call it that. I know I've looked up the date before.
Yeah, it's the 5th or the 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those. But yeah, so we are going to be sort of at the tail end of the art walk. We're going to have live music starting at 7:30. It's going to be Rockabilly Space Force is going to be playing out in the alleyway in front of the building. We're going to be unveiling our new facade improvements, which includes a combination of mural work, lighting design, and actual steel sculpture work.
Wow.
As well as our new neon sign that's going to be going up the side of our tower.
Cool.
So yeah, we have a 13-foot tall KCHW going down the tower.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's going to be. This is going to be something that is definitely going to be unique,
That is
fun thing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those. Someone says, "Hey, I'm going to be driving through Chihuahua," and their friends are going to be like, "Oh yeah, you got to stop in front of the radio station and get your
I'll
picture
be
taken."
there.
Yeah.
So it'll be a photo op. It'll be interactive art, a multimedia display. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Whoa.
So working with an amazing team of artists from around the state.
Nice.
So yeah, really looking forward to this.
That
one.
sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be incredible. If I have more time, I'll tell you about it right now, but I'm not. All right. So with that said, we got to get going. I've got a meeting to get to, and you guys have an art talk to get to. So I want to thank you guys so much. And I do have a quick little note here. Unfortunately, the Facebook feed, it got started a little bit late. The YouTube feed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to repost that YouTube feed later, and I will tag all you guys in it, or everybody that I can find you on Facebook. I'll tag you guys in that and repost the Facebook feed as well. Most of the Facebook feed got started. There's an extra little time where I have to go back to the Facebook menu and start something else that sometimes I forget to. I get caught up in the excitement. But I will be posting that entire YouTube feed
Thank
or you
you.
can switch over to YouTube. It's KCHW Tube, and watch the whole thing there as well. So
Thanks for having us.
no problem. I want to thank you guys so much. And of course, tune in tonight on KCHW from 6 to 8 p.m. for the Northern Beat with Craig McQueen. 8 to 10 p.m. is Dirt Road Blues with our very own Dirt Road Doug McQueen. That's going to be live in the studio. Then from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., we have Planetary Radio, Sea Change Radio, Echo Shock, Total, and Earth Date. And again, make sure to check out the first Thursday Art Walk tomorrow, as well as the Art Talk tonight at the Quartzsite Brewery. So I want to thank you guys for coming in. Say goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Chuck Ritchie. Chuck Ritchie rocks.
All right, you guys have a great one.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
And now we return you to our regular scheduled program.